Welcome to episode 24 Behind the Shield. Today we are joined by head men's and women's golf coach Dave Boslough. Hello again, everybody. Scott Guys joining you for another episode of Behind the Shield. Back from vacation after a restful week in Ocean City, New Jersey. Certainly great to get away, but happy to be back and back on the horse with some Behind the Shield episodes. So this week will be men's and women's golf week, kicked off by Spartan head coach Dave Boslough. So Dave will join us after this commercial break. Welcome to episode 24 Behind the Shield. Today we are joined by head golf coach Dave Boslough. Dave, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So got to ask what we ask everybody the first time they're on. What you've been up to for the last 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, it's been different. Early on, me and my wife did a lot of landscaping. Our assistant coach came over to help a little bit, so we were digging out some trees and kind of put a whole new garden in and everything. So that was the big part, like early in the quarantine. And this summer's just been a lot of golf, really.
We were talking earlier, you don't get to play that much usually during the year and even during the summer because you're recruiting. How is the golf game right now?
It's going pretty well. It's just nice to get out and play a little bit more. Try to play as much as possible, during the year in the summer. But like you said, it becomes difficult, especially as you're trying to help 20 some other students get better. But yeah, nice. It's been kind of, nice just to get out and play and have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, that's so true. It's golf seems to be one of the great havens that people have at this point in time where you can actually go out and play. So you can take advantage of it.
Courses are packed this summer though, so.
It is. It's, they've been busy. Shane has started to play a little bit more, so we go out a little bit more frequently. And yeah, the kid hits the ball a ton. Has no idea where it's going, but he hits it a ton. It is. So let's jump into it. We just found out last week and a half ago that you're not going to have a fall, so that changes things. In light of what happened last spring, how difficult was it to hear the fact that you weren't going to be playing this fall competitively, at least, in tournaments and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was tough. I don't think it was anything like the spring. We had just gotten back from Savannah. We had a really good fall season, both with the men and the women. Both teams very young. Got back from Savannah. Both teams played extremely well. So after working hard all February, getting some tournament exposure in the spring, a really fun tournament down south, come back, and like the day we got back, everything started closing down, and we kind of had to break the news of our season coming to an end. So that was tough. With this fall season, I think just a couple weeks before we announced, you started seeing some other conferences start closing or shutting things down for the fall. You started hearing some rumbling. So I think our players kind of were prepared for the possibility of not playing tournaments. For us, our postseason and stuff is in the spring. So that's, a little bit of an area where, okay, we can still practice and prepare and get ready for, a good season in the spring and our first in the MAC. So that's, it was disappointing, but there's still some positives you can make of what we might be able to do this fall.
With a team as young as yours was, and obviously defending CAC champs on both sides, it probably would have been nice to be able to defend those championships. But how exciting is it to have such a young team still coming back and getting ready for potentially this spring?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. Obviously, one of the factors of last spring, it was disappointing not being able to, play a conference championship as the defending champions, both for the men and the women. And with it being the final CAC championship for us, I guess in a way we leave on top, but at the same time, we never got that chance to defend. But it's also exciting, coming and joining the MAC. The schools in the MAC, we see a lot during the regular season. Our players are familiar with the other teams, comfortable playing with them. I get along well with many of the coaches in that conference. So it's just exciting to be able to kind of maybe start fresh and practice this fall and get ready. It'll be a different conference, a different season with probably trying to jam a lot in the spring. It'll be pretty exciting to, get that opportunity to play in a new conference.
Do you envision a scenario or will you sell to your kids that, hey, we have a chance this fall to really get better, to work on a lot of things, to break maybe some things down that you wouldn't normally have time to do? Do you envision that is kind of is that how that becomes a positive for you of not competing in the fall, but having the opportunity to practice?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely we'll probably get a lot more time one-on-one with some players, really working on their individual games, maybe making some changes or slight adjustments that you wouldn't typically do when you're playing tournaments weekend after weekend. You're just trying to get ready for that tournament. So it will give us some time to really prepare, get better, maybe build a decent off-season program for them. Hopefully we'll see what the gym situation looks like, but if we can get in the gym a lot more than we typically would during, a tournament season, that might be a benefit too. So there may be some positives. Obviously, we would love to compete. There are some local tournaments like the York Open, some Harrisburg events that maybe our players can sign up for and play in and get some tournament experience. I know the York Open is at Regents Glen in August that some of our guys are looking at playing in. So there might be some ways with golf that they can still compete, but at the same time, if we're able to practice and get better, that's a benefit too.
So let's talk a little bit about, we'll go to the women's program. Obviously, you've had tremendous success early on. What have been some of the keys to getting that program not only off the ground, but then also succeeding at a pretty high level early on?
Yeah, the biggest key has just been the girls that we've been able to bring in. They work really hard. They care a lot about it, especially our senior class with Emma, Carrie, Lindsay, Bethany. From day one, they've just wanted to build, a really solid program, a really competitive program. They've gotten the chance to travel to some cool places, play a lot of cool courses. We had #1 freshman class in the country 2 years ago. So those players coming in and, kind of, I guess, had really good leadership right off the bat. We're able to grow, get a lot of tournament experience as well. It's kind of just been a really, really cool process just to see them get better and improve. If you look at the scoring averages from every player's first year till their second year, their third year, they've improved 5, 6, 10. Some. I think Lindsay improved like 15 shots from year 1 to year 2. So you look at players like that, and you can tell they're putting a lot of hard work in, and they care a lot about the program and seeing us succeed. But it's been all of them from day one.
Talk a little bit about how important that leadership component is for the ladies. Obviously, that senior class has been here for a while. They started the whole thing. How important is it for them to be able to lead this younger group into seeing how tournaments are and what being a college golfer is all about?
Yeah, it's so important, especially in golf when it's an individualized game. For our leaders, our captains, our senior class, to be able to really develop that culture and set the culture of what we want, which is just helping your teammates get better. It's hard to do. You have to care about your game and getting better. You have to play caring about your score. But if our players can, also worry about the freshmen and the sophomores and help them get better and kind of show them, how to play tournaments or how to prepare for a tournament, that's, vital. And our girls have done a great job of that, and I think it's shown.
Now, you have a lot of kids that come into college having played tournament golf. It seems like nowadays kids are playing from the time they're little, that they're playing in tournament golf. What is the transition like for a kid that plays tournament golf, that played in high school, that played at a pretty high level, and now playing in the collegiate tournament? How much of an adjustment is there, or is there no adjustment? Is it somebody who that's just another kind of step along the ladder for them?
Yeah, the game itself, there's no adjustment. The biggest adjustment is the mental component. You're not playing a summer tournament under your name. Whatever you shoot is what you shoot. Your score now matters for the team. So you got 4 or 5 other guys that are relying on you to post a good number. So you have to deal with that component and kind of block it out and play for your own score in your own tournament. But the whole day in the back of your mind, you're watching the live scoring, you're seeing how your teammates are doing, you're feeding off their scores. You're trying not to mess up at the end because your team might be 1 shot behind or 1 shot in the lead. So I think that is the biggest adjustment, is the pressure of that you're playing for the team and your teammates as opposed to just yourself.
Yeah, tournament golf is a whole nother animal in addition to just going out. I'll go out and play a casual round on a weekend. That's not even remotely close to what tournament golf is. And that it's certainly fun to watch when we get a chance to have home events, to get to see our kids to play in that situation. It's such a really good group of kids and so much fun to get a chance to watch them. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the MAC. You talked about how we've played. We play a lot of those teams already. On each side, what are you looking forward to in terms of, on the men's side, stacking up against some of the programs there, and then also on the women's side? Obviously, Stevenson has a really good program as well. So who are some of the people that people should watch out for, teams we should watch out for as we head into the MAC?
Yeah, just from us playing with them, we play with Stevenson a good amount. Both sides, they have really good teams. Especially, we see them a lot with our women's program. We've had some really close tournaments. I believe in the fall we played them once for a 2-day event. We ended up tying and we won a scorecard tiebreaker. So that was, a good way to get started with the season, but it just shows that we were really competitive in the CAC, and now we come to a MAC and we can still be really competitive, but there's still some teams that are very good that we have to prepare for. But we see them a lot more. With the CAC, you may have seen Mary Washington once, Christopher Newport once, Babson, when you wouldn't see him at all until the conference championship. Where now we're going to see Stevenson, Alvernia, Lebanon Valley, some other schools. We're going to see them 4 or 5 this season, maybe 8 times before the conference championship. So you're going to really get a feel for who's a good player, what scores that you probably need to shoot to be competitive. And I think, it'll set us up for some success early on.
Do you like that? Do you like that we're going to see the teams we're going to play against?
Yeah, I think so. You just get more familiar with them. You kind of know what you have to do. So then at practice, what scores that you need to post. Our number 1, number 2 player, they know, what they really need to go out and shoot to have us have a chance to be competitive. But we'll still travel. We'll still, if everything's a little bit more back to normal, we'll go to Georgia. We'll go to Carolinas. We'll go compete with some of the top teams in the country and get that experience as well, like we have in previous years. And hopefully that, prepares us a little bit more for the pressure of a conference championship.
Talk a little bit about that. Why do we go away? What purposes are served for people that don't know college golf? Why is it important to go and travel to Savannah and North Carolina and all these places you go early on to get that competition against teams that, are traditionally nationally ranked? Why is that important for our guys and our ladies to be able to see that kind of competition?
Yeah, you just kind of want to get out of your region a little bit. You'll play a lot of tournaments with the teams in your region. You'll see all the best teams in your region a few times a year. But to be able to go down south where they get teams from like every region in the country. So you're playing against the top teams in every region. So you get to see how good you are, where do you really stack up against the teams that are going to be at the national championship. You'll see teams from up north, from down south, out west that you wouldn't see in a typical tournament here in the Mid-Atlantic. So just going and playing different style courses, different grass types for the greens. That's a big adjustment. How quickly can we adjust to that? So it's just different in terms of rankings. You play a tournament with 15, 20 other teams, but in the tournament itself, they're all one-on-one individual matches. So to be able to play a bunch of teams at once that are really good. If you can play well, you'll, get some good ranking points that go a long way. And, you're also at the same time kind of representing your region when you go down there.
A couple of years ago, the men won the conference and got the opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament. What kind of experience was that, 1? And 2, does that kind of make those, our older guys now, we're young, we're freshmen, sophomores when that happened. Now these guys are juniors and seniors. How important was it for them to get the opportunity to see it, one, to just see it, and then two, to understand what it takes to get to where we want to go in terms of the national playing at the national tournament?
It was huge. I mean, when I was a player, we never got that opportunity. So as a coach, even for me, that was my first opportunity seeing like the national championship atmosphere. So the guys on our team that were really young, that got that experience early on, so important. They just kind of saw the best teams in the country. How were they preparing there? How was the course setup? It was the most difficult course setup we saw all year. It was a PGA Tour course. So to get the experience on that and really see what they can shoot, how could they handle the pressure, what do they realistically need to be shooting to compete there? We didn't make the cut, unfortunately. We struggled, in one of the rounds. We had one round that was very good. So just to see how good you need to be on a tough course, I think it was good to see what they need to do to get back there. And we had a lot of fun down there. So, the opportunity now in the MAC with an automatic qualifier, not even only just for the men's, but now for the women's side. I mean, they won the conference championship that year too and didn't get to go. So I know they're hungry for that opportunity as well.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, I have to think for you guys, especially on the women's side, one of the huge advantages to the MAC is if you win the championship, you get a chance to go to the tournament. Is that kind of a real motivating factor for this group?
Definitely. Yeah, that was the biggest bonus for us moving to the MAC. You just have a lot more teams, just a lot more consistency within the conference, and the ability for our women's team to have that opportunity now to win the conference championship and go to the national championship. I mean, that's such an added bonus for us that you don't just have to only rely on the rankings.
It's hard to believe that you're not going to be playing this fall. It kind of stinks. But, you look at it, I think the idea of being able to really train and, maybe even play some inter-squad championships or, whatever. You've got a great golf course over there to get an opportunity to do that. And certainly, taking the advantage of that is certainly a lot of fun. So, Dave, we want to thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We're going to talk to a couple of your players later this week, which we look forward to. We always get a chance to. I'm sure it'll be very entertaining, to say the least. But enjoy these last couple months before we're back to school, and fingers crossed back to school, and be able to get a chance to see each other. So, I want to thank you again for joining us, Dave.
Thanks, Scott.
At York College, we are proud of the fact that we have over 30 cultures and 30 countries represented among our campus community. We not only are proud of that fact, we celebrate the unique perspective and differences that each and every person on this campus brings to us. So on behalf of all of us at York College, I want you to know that you are welcomed here.
Tu eres bienvenido aquí. Vous êtes bien reçu ici. You're very welcome here.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome here.
Você está bem-vindo aqui.
You are welcome here.
You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You're welcome here.
معكم رقية آل الشيخ من كلية يورك في بنسلفانيا. أنتم مرحب بكم هنا. We are welcome.
From day one at York College of Pennsylvania, you are welcome here.
Great to get the opportunity to talk to Coach Boslough. Certainly his golf game is in good shape now. Looking forward to getting his men's and women's players back on campus and the opportunity to practice this fall in preparation for what hopes to be a busy spring, as they will head into the MAC looking to carry over that conference championship feeling from the Capital Athletic Conference. So we'll return with another Behind the Shield on Wednesday. Luke Fejakevitz will be with us, and then Jordan Kohler on Thursday. So packed schedule with men's and women's golf this week. Hope to enjoy it. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Spartans.